Did you know that you actually script your entire reality through the words that you choose to speak, just like a screenwriter would write a film? Okay, so you create your reality through your words. And once you understand this, you can learn a lot about somebody by listening to them speak. In fact, you can guess pretty well how much money that person has in their bank account just by the words that they choose to speak. So today I have for you 5 powerful strategies to help you script your reality through your words. These are techniques, tips, tricks on how to use language to your advantage each and every day so that you can have a higher bank balance, or the relationship of your dreams, or the body of your dreams, or whatever it is that you wish to manifest. All right, so for our first strategy, I think that this one is best introduced with a question. All right, and so the question is, how's work going for you lately? How's work going for you lately? Now, if you have a job, think about your typical answer to that question. Now, you may already kind of know what I'm driving at here, but you may have also noticed that a lot of people do not. At least here in the United States where I live, if you ask a bunch of people how work's been going lately, yikes, you can get some really hairy, scary answers. And so this is really our first strategy when it comes to using language to your advantage so that you can script your reality the way that you want it to be. All right. So what you want to do is that when you're talking, as much as possible, you want to focus on what's working out, what's going well, what you appreciate, and what you enjoy. Now, very typically, when you ask somebody a question like, how's work been going lately? You may hear a lot of the opposite. I hate my boss, they're working me too much, they're not paying me enough, right? I'm sure you've heard people, when you've asked them that question, they give you answers like that. Now, through the law of attraction, again, we script our reality with our choice of words. And so you want to be very, very mindful that your focus is on what you enjoy, what you appreciate, and as little focus as possible on what you don't appreciate or what you don't enjoy. See, every subject is going to have 2 sides, like a coin, right? So you could look at any subject and find things to point out that are negative or that are quote unquote wrong or that you do not like. But you could also focus on things that are going well and that you do appreciate and that you do like going well in your reality. All right. And so the big challenge here is no matter what you're talking about, you want to try to skew it to that side of the coin. So if somebody asks you a question, if you have a job, like, how's work going lately? Maybe they are working you too hard. Okay. Maybe they're not paying you enough money. Maybe you do hate your boss. But reach for what is going well. Okay, so how's work going lately? Oh, well, you know what? They just put in a new restaurant right down the street, so we've had a great place to go to lunch to lately that I've really liked. Or you know what? They just got a new copier. Oh my goodness, I'm really loving the new copier. Or you know what? I have like the best friend, one of my best friends works at my job, and so I really love spending time with her. Notice that you can go in that direction. And I know this one personally because when I first learned about the law of attraction, I worked as a high school teacher. And so when people would ask me that question, I would focus on the things that I did not like about my job or the things that weren't going well. And a massive shift happened when I started focusing on what I did like. Okay, because again, your words script your reality. So this is a trick that you're not only going to do when someone asks you how work's going, but no matter what subject you're talking about, focus on what's going well rather than on what you do not like, because whatever you place your focus on with the law of attraction, you're going to attract more of. All right, so let's talk about our next tip here to help you script your reality in the way you want it to be rather than in the way you don't want it to be. Because again, your reality is being scripted by the words that you use. And this one has everything to do with your volume of speech and your passion of speech. Okay, now what I want you to focus on for this particular technique is that you want to bring passion and energy when you speak. The way I like to think about it is if you're talking to somebody and they're coming at you about here in terms of volume and passion, try to go about here, okay? Try to come a little bit more than everybody that you talk to. Try to be a little bit more enthusiastic, a little bit more passionate, and yes, even a little bit more loud. Now, the universe responds to passion. So when you infuse your words and your speech with passion and excitement and a little bit of volume, you're going to find that you attract a lot more positive things into your reality. And I've got a great example for you. Next time you go to some kind of a social event, maybe it's a work event, or maybe it's a party, or maybe even you're at work and you see people congregating in the lunchroom or in wherever, go ahead and pay attention and notice something, that the person who seems to be at the center of the mix, who is attracting the most positive connection from everybody, who's getting the most amount of attention, is also the person who's speaking a little bit more louder, a little bit more passionately, and a little bit more enthusiastically. Okay, so the people who project their voices, who bring more passion and energy into their speech, attract admiration, respect, but they also attract all other kinds of things because, again, if you're speaking words, and if they're positive words, if you're focusing on what you want with passion, you're going to become a stronger magnet for those positive things that you are speaking about. Remember that the law of attraction is a vibrational game. It's an energy game. So you want to have high energy when you speak as much as possible. All right, I've got more tips here on how to improve your speech so that you script your reality in the way you wish it to be. But first, if you enjoy law of attraction videos that teach you how to manifest the reality of your dreams, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, go ahead and turn on the handy notification bell. I put out content like this every single week, and I know you're going to love it. All right, for our next tip here, this is an extraordinary little piece of advice to have in your pocket as a deliberate creator. And when it comes to speech, what you want to do is reduce your dependency on the words don't and stop. Don't and stop. Now, why is this? Why do you think that the words don't and stop are better used very sparingly? Well, when we use words like don't and stop, we are invariably using those words in a way to place focus on something that we do not wish to see. Okay, so if I say something like, don't yell at me, don't yell at me, what am I focused on? What am I saying in my speech? Yell at me, yell at me, yell at me. All right. If I say something like, stop tracking mud into the house, what am I scripting into my reality? Tracking mud into the house. Okay. And so this is a really critical thing to do with your language that's really going to improve the quality of your reality, particularly if you use those two words a lot, because if you can get rid of those words and instead focus on what is wanted, you are going to dramatically reduce unwanted things into your reality and dramatically increase wanted things into your reality. So if you were saying before, don't yell at me, focus on what's wanted instead. Please speak to me in a quieter voice. Please speak to me more calmly. Okay, and so the focus isn't on the yelling, it's on speak to me calmer. Okay, instead of stop tracking mud into the house, you could say something like, please take your shoes off at the front of the door. Okay, please take your shoes off when you come into the house. And so then the focus is on taking the shoes off when they come into the home rather than mud all over your house. Yes, quite literally. When you talk about these things that you don't want, you actively bring more of those into your reality. And so anybody who's had kids can totally attest to this, which is the more you tell your kids to don't do something, stop doing something, the more they do it. And it seems like you're in this constant everyday fight and struggle with your children to stop doing something because you're always telling them that thing that you want them to stop doing. So instead, focus on the wanted behaviors, the wanted actions. What do you want to see? All right, let's get into our next tip here on how to script your reality with the words that you speak. These are everyday techniques. If you master all of these, you're going to find that reality is just a lot greater for you because on a consistent basis, you're using your words in a way that facilitates a positive reality, an abundant reality, a wanted reality. Once you train this into your mind, into your subconscious mind, and you get good at it, you're just on autopilot, scripting things the way you wish them to be. Okay, that's why it's so important. All right, but this is our next tip. Speak slower or at a more comfortable pace. Now, this isn't for everybody. So some people are already pretty slow speakers, but for my friends out there who have motor mouth, and that was me and still can be me, is that talking too fast thing or racing to get to the next sentence. Want to try and practice speaking slower and more deliberately. When you're rushing through things like language, the message that you're sending to the universe is, I'm in a rush. This is an emergency. We got to hurry up. Oh my goodness, is it going to work out? There's some anxiety that goes along with speaking fast. And so even if you aren't meaning to project that, if you're rushing, you are projecting out into the universe a rushing reality. Okay, so people who move very, very quickly and race around, they very frequently attract to them very chaotic environments where there's always a fire to put out, there's something else that got to rush to. And so slowing everything down is exceptionally helpful. Slowing speech down is helpful as well. See, when you speak slower and more deliberately, the message that you're sending out to the universe is, I am calm. Everything's fine. I'm moving in the flow. I'm moving at a comfortable pace. Everything's going fine. If you're not rushing, everything's fine. Okay, and that's the message you want to be putting out there so that as your reality starts to reflect back to you, it's coming at you in a very flowing, comfortable pace. You aren't having a whole bunch of disasters and 5-alarm fires and all this crazy stuff going on, but rather you can enjoy your day, have fun getting from one thing to the next. So for my motor mouths out there, like me, okay, try slowing down your speech. All right, I've got another tip here for you for scripting your reality through the words that you speak. Again, all of these techniques are super, super powerful. You want to practice these and make them dominant and automatic so that every day is a good day, because every day can be a good day. But first, if you are new to my work here, I'd love to invite you to take my 5-minute free manifesting test. If you want to know for sure that you, yes, you, are the creator of your reality, I've designed a very simple, very quick 5-minute test where you can prove it to yourself. Put something out and watch it come back. And to take that test now, please go to manifestingtest.com. Again, that is manifestingtest.com. I'll also go ahead and put a link below in the description, but manifestingtest.com is the direct link. But let's jump into our next tip on how to script your reality through the words that you choose. I love this one because this one's so easy and it allows you to be more creative. And it is to use bold, dramatic language, particularly when we're using like our adjectives. So describing words. So instead of it was a good day, it was an extraordinary day. Instead of, I had an okay time, I had an amazing time. Okay, you see how that works? Again, we want to try and bump up the energy. One way that we do it, like I mentioned before, is through the passion and the volume that you use when you speak. But the other way is through the choice of words that you use to describe things. So make it your goal to talk things up. The world is going to be what you say it is. So maybe it was a good day, but why not call it a phenomenal day? Why not? Might as well. If you're scripting it the way you wish it to be bold, be dramatic, and put out that way that you wish it to be so that that's the way it comes back to you. Now, with these techniques, again, these are all techniques that have you focusing on how to speak, and they do require practice, right? Because, it's very likely that you're going to default back into the way that you used to speak if you weren't speaking in one of these ways. If you like instant kind of results, instant manifestations, I do have a really great video for you. If you want to do something like shift realities really quickly without having to do a bunch of talking, I've got a really great video. And this video is on how to change your life instantly. Yes, instantly. It's a really fun law of attraction hack to get you to immediately shift from one reality to the next. So go ahead and watch that video next. And I look forward to bringing you another one soon. Bye-bye.